We met through a friend of ours, and I want to say it was 2010, but you put me on the spot now. So I know we've been together 13 years this December, so yeah, we met through a friend of ours, and strangely we didn't actually see each other again for a couple of months, and it just transpired that when we eventually met up again, we both kind of liked each other, and well, 13 years later nearly we're getting married, so something's obviously gone right. Oh, she's going to hate me for saying this, but the first day I met Susan, she was absolutely smothered in mud because she'd been stuck out on a marsh with some dogs of her friends. So I was kind of under the impression that if I looked at her then and thought, no, I like this person, there was only ever going to go uphill after that point. Well, I can't really single one thing out. It's just everything. It's all the things that you don't think of. Like, you know, I always come home and she's always happy to see me. You know, she'll do anything for me, even when she's not feeling well. I will always come home, have a cup of tea, and she's just such a loving and caring person. I couldn't really ask for more than that, really.
Nick said where I'll be crying, he's going to lift the veil and he'll be like, ugh. Just I'll be running. Where did you get that, Mum? Did you do it yourself? Did you find it?
Etsy.
Is that long enough?
Yeah. No, it must go that way because it must go into your shirt.
Plastic surgery, they told me.
Yeah. Surrounded now for the jawbone and the chin.
I'll do the rest of it.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't like that.
Not going to say I love you. Let's go to the bar. That's what I've written. Go take to mum. Go around the back.
I don't want to hear anything like that. Nothing.
Okay. I take it back. I take it back. I hate you.
Quickly, what's the time? Did we say?
12:15.
Because I was sweating, even on the run through.
Marriage is a sign of unity and loyalty, which all should uphold and honour. It enriches society and strengthens community. No one should enter into it lightly or selfishly, but reverently and responsibly in the sight of Almighty God. Nick and Susie are now to enter this way of life. They will each give their consent to the other and make solemn vows.
I, Nicholas Raymond David, take you, Susan Miriam,
To be my wife,
to be my wife,
to have and to hold,
to have and to hold,
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
for better, for worse,
for better, for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
for richer, for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
till death us do part,
till death us do part,
according to God's holy law,
according to God's holy law,
in the presence of God,
in the presence of God,
I make this vow.
I make this vow.
I, Susan Miriam, take you, Nicholas Raymond David,
To be my husband,
to be my husband,
to have and to hold,
to have and to hold,
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
for better, for worse,
for better, for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
for richer, for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
till death us do part,
till death us do part,
according to God's holy law,
according to God's holy law,
in the presence of God,
in the presence of God,
I make this vow.
I make this vow.
They have made their marriage vows to each other. They have declared their marriage by the joining of hands and by the giving and receiving of rings. I therefore proclaim that they are husband and wife. You may now kiss the bride.
Michelle and Dave. I wrote this speech last night and I'm speaking on behalf of Kevin. So I'll try and get through this. I went to bed at midnight, so I don't know what rubbish I was writing, but it was from the heart, Susie. Susan started her life in the Sims family as Elmo. Okay. And I'll explain. We didn't get Susie until she was 4. God gave her to us. So Richard and Adam knew that there was a new little one coming, and we had to get the boys ready for Susie. So the table went up and became a table for 6. Elmo sat at the table. Elmo sat in the back of the car between the boys. As I said, get ready, boys, it won't be long, you'll have a little sister soon. We did everything we could to prepare our sons for Susie. So our first meeting with our beautiful Belle was when she was 4, a tiny, skinny little girl with a huge mop of curls. She was caked in chicken pox, and I read her first story, the first story we had together, which was called I Love You to the Moon and Back. Whilst reading this story, she was looking at me, grinning. Her foot plopped onto the page. She giggled, turned over the page. Her foot plopped onto the page. And I thought, we've got a live wire. We tried to ease her in gently. The boys were fantastic with her. And Susie spent the first few months on my hip, being carried around the house, up and down the stairs. She loved rough and tumble with Kevin and playing with the boys. They were typical children, driving each other crazy. When she became too much for them, they simply put her in the washing basket and tied her up. That's when we had to intervene. Susie liked to talk a lot. None of us were prepared for that. That is when we discovered the shutter-upper. I look back now and say, oh, weren't we awful parents? And Kevin just said, anyone who knows her will understand. So Kevin has provided you all with an emergency shutter-upper. They're on the tables. Kevin says, if you bump into Susie today, all you have to do is unwrap it and pop it in.
Feels right when it's wrong. I've stayed here too long, but something brings me back to you. I swear we belong. I'm still hanging on, but something brings me back to you. Back to you.